YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Hamlet, and we're bringing you another video. Today's video is going to be about the question I always get asked is how much money can you make off a truck, whether it be company driver asking that, or it would be a company driver asking an owner op that, or company driver asking a fleet owner that, vice versa, right? Chia Rocha is in the house. First one in the house. Let's see. Bugatti the trucker. What's going on, folks? How you guys doing? Trucking for show. What's up, brother? All right. We have here my new driver. He's in the background, right? I don't know if he wanted to be filmed or not, but there's some videos that we wanted to talk about. And well, I wanted to talk about because he was asking me, and I felt like there was some good discussion in it. So I think this might be a short video. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I'm just shooting from the hip here. Now, a lot of people ask questions about they ask questions about how much money you making off of a truck. How much money you got 4 trucks out on the road. How much money you making off of these trucks or whatnot? And a lot of times I feel a certain kind of, well, most of the time I feel a certain way kind of answering that question. I mean, the truth is, folks, right? If you know, how do I say it? How do I say that? If you knew about it, you wouldn't be asking the question, right? I guess that if you were ready for it, you wouldn't be asking the question. Like, what do I mean by that? If you're a company driver, there's a lot of public information out here. I mean, this is simple math. A lot of this stuff is not a secret, really, per se. Everybody's rates might be just a little bit different because somebody might be getting a better rate than the other. But for the most part, if you're going off the national average, you can figure out roughly, the miles that you're getting paid for, right, on a truck, and you can create yourself a little business model, per se, And so when a company driver asks me, how much money you're making off of a truck, per se, then when a company driver is asking that from a fleet owner, I kind of laugh because you're talking about how much money I'm potentially making off of a driver, right? But you wouldn't even begin to understand where that money is even going to, right? And you wouldn't begin to even understand like employee taxes and maintenance and a truck note and insurance and I mean breakdowns. I mean, if you get into an accident with somebody, I mean, like, so you're at the wrong stage, right, of asking a question like that, per se. You're not ready for the answer, right? Because if I was to tell you, hey, I'm making, I'm gonna put a number out there, I'm making $3,000 off of a truck in a week, after I pay a driver or something, right? Now we're putting out some hypothetical numbers out here, right? This is not my numbers, right? Because I won't discuss my numbers. I'm just gonna put out some hypothetical numbers, right? If I was to say, I'm making $3,000 after I finish paying driver and fuel and all that, right? And I told that to the driver, to a company driver, they wouldn't even begin to understand that, especially guys that haven't owned a truck. They wouldn't even begin to understand, oh, you guys are making so much money off of a driver, this, that, the third, this should be, at least half of my money, right? That's what I mean by you're not at the right stage to ask that question, because you can't even begin to comprehend where that money is even going to, right? If that makes any sense. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
Okay. So now let's switch it up, right? If an owner op was to ask me, how much are you making off after you pay a driver? You know what I mean? You wouldn't be asking me that question. Right? What is it? How did I say it? How did I formulate it? You wouldn't be asking me that question if you knew, or something. I can't remember how I said it.
You said it was similar to that. I can't exactly remember which way you thought about. We was talking about it earlier.
You wouldn't ask me that question if you already know what you're doing, per se. Because if an owner op is asking that question, well, you already got all the numbers. You just have to figure out how much you got to pay a driver, right? And know that, you driving a truck is going to be way different than a company driver driving a truck. If that makes any sense, right? Because it's no longer things are going to go your way. It's more up in the liberty of somebody else's hands, if that makes any sense, right? We got some couple questions. We got 26 people in here, 4 likes. I want y'all guys to mash that like button, mash the subscribe button, drop a comment down below in the video and let us know what you think. And let's see what we got here. The comments. Truck and Fish Show, I need drivers, man. What's the secret? It's, hey, everybody needs drivers, Truck and Fish Show. The secret is, I haven't figured it out yet. I haven't, I just think you eventually have to become, I think one of the secrets is you eventually have to become very big, like the mega company, to become relevant. And then drivers will just be coming in like crazy. I essentially think, because once you become, I mean, the biggest thing in advertisement, right, is word of mouth, right? Nobody can control how much persuasion is word of the mouth, right? If you told your buddy, right, that I'm making thousands of dollars over here at this company, and your buddy told you that, you'll be persuaded to go to that rather than seeing an advertisement for that company being put out by the company itself, right or wrong, right? So if you potentially are paying a driver well, and if your driver is is happy where he's at and he's putting out word of mouth, hey, this is a place to be at, then I would say, that's how that's going to work out. But honestly, I don't have enough statistical data to let you know what is the best way right now working out for me, if that makes any sense. Let's see here. We have Geo Rocha. It costs a lot of money to keep those trucks up and running. Exactly. And Truck and Show, the threat of major repairs. There you go. John Crawford, what's up, buddy? And we got Chuck Garrett, yo. Eddie Jotar, C. Malone, the owner op. What's going on, C. Malone? No matter what you have, most drivers will not be happy.
Facts,
bro. You can't please everybody, right?
I want more money now.
I want more money. I want a newer truck. I want an older truck. I want a faster truck. I want to be home every day. I want to be fucking. You can make up. There's a list of things you could come up with. You know what I mean? But I tell you what. It's one thing that I learned in the military. If you have a soldier complaining, that's a good soldier, essentially. That's what I was told, right, when I was coming up at NCO. I don't know how in your military thing it has came up with, but it has always been explained to me. If you have a soldier that is complaining, it's good to have a soldier that's complaining rather than not have a soldier that's not complaining, because soldiers going to be complaining wants to make things better, per se, right? Rather than somebody that's not complaining is just doing whatever it got to be told. But I don't know. I guess it's different. You know, and trucking is different because, you know, too much complaining is a pain in the ass. That's for sure.
One thing that on my side of the house, we used to always say there is no bad Marines.
Okay.
There's only bad managers.
Bad managers. Okay.
Bad NCOs.
Oh, of course.
Because either you're gonna perform or you're gonna get, you know, left by the wayside.
Yeah.
So that's another way how I look at it. And the same way with you, right?
Yep.
You're the manager. You're the owner. You know, there is no bad truckers because then if they are, you know, you're gonna get rid of them.
Yep.
Or they're gonna perform up the, you know, they're gonna do what they need to do.
All right, so we got no matter. All right, Albert Lining, newest equipment, best pay and benefits. Driver will still find something to complain about. There you go. No driver works for anyone more than 4 to 5 months, and that is a sad truth. You know, a lot of, you know, you have a lot. Even I still experience it. You know what I mean? You have a lot of drivers that this is like a revolving door. You know. Drivers are here for 3-4 months, maybe 5 months, and then see ya, you know. That's typically how it is, you know, and I still see that, you know, honestly, for one reason or the other, you know. We got here a comment, freeway to trucker, good pay, home time, and truck run between 72 to 75 miles an hour. And you got a driver for a while and keep me moving. Potentially, right? And Christopher Wright, what's up, brother? I don't think you ever been on here. My driver make $1,500 a week driving from Cali to Texas and back, 5-day work week in 2014, Cascadia. They still complain. There you go. I mean, you know, the driver, I think what it is like, you know, you really need to, the carrier, right? The carrier and the driver, they have to work out with each other. You know what I mean? If the carrier is not providing the opportunity for more miles or more money, right, and the driver wants a lot of miles and stuff, that's going to be a no-win situation for both the carrier and the driver, because, you know, the driver is just always going to be complaining the whole time, hey, I'm not getting enough money or whatnot, and I want more miles. And then the driver is eventually going to quit, and then the carrier is going to be stuck with a truck somewhere, you know, that's not running, you know. Well, the same thing is like if you got a carrier that's going to be giving you a lot of miles, and you got a driver that doesn't want to put in the miles, you know what I'm saying? Because now, you know, you're gonna be having a truck sitting, because eventually the driver is gonna quit too, because and it's not so much that you gotta, you know, and that's another good video right there. How much is too much of curtailing to a driver when you're first starting out? Because that was a hard lesson for me to learn. And when I was talking to Soul Child, I had to talk to him again, but when we were talking about it, these are two mistakes that we both have done. Anyways, that's a separate video. Let's see here. We have Kiwi Reacts. Hola Hamlet, what's up, Kiwi? That's why I'm one woman band. I will always grind hardest for myself. BH Transport, yeah. And some people you know, you can get out here and you can make a lot of money just running by yourself and having one show and not having to answer to really anybody. And you can make a lot of money for sure. You know, and things are simpler. You know what I mean? More money, more problems. Honestly. And we have here other comments. Have anyone heard of getting popped for deleting from DOT? The only people that is gonna pop you for that is gonna be CARB and the EPA. You know, if you're running your trucks in the port with it deleted or whatever it may have you know what I mean? And I might be wrong about that. Don't quote me on that, but just that's what my thinking or whatever, you know. Now I own 14 trucks, so I have 22 drivers. So whoever wants to work, take the truck and go. People call for work, I always have a slot open. And when you have a good driver, the truck will have issues. Shaking my head. Hey, there you go, bro. You see what I mean? This is just trucking, you know. There's so many variables, right? For the driver to be happy, for the carrier to be happy, for the truck to be making money, you know, there's just so many things that
market conditions need to be right.
The market conditions need to be right, you know, and there's just so many pieces to the puzzle to make this all work out, if that makes any sense, you know. And Albert, you know, you made perfect sense, you know. You can have the best driver, you can have the best loads to give the driver, right? And you do all that, and then if the truck breaks down, are we making money? No, right? Nobody's making money. The driver ain't making money. The company ain't making money. So what good is it, right? And you can have a bad, you know, you can have a bad driver which is not, you know, making the deliveries or, you know, putting the miles in or whatever. And you can have a good running truck and you can have good rates, you know. Are you making money? No, you're not making money. So it just goes to show you that, you know, going back to the mindset of a company driver asking an owner op, how much money do you make off of a truck? You wouldn't ask that question if you have been doing your position for quite a while, right? If you've been out here as a company driver for more than a year, you would know that you're gonna have breakdowns, right?
Yeah.
You know that you're gonna be get caught by the DOT for a flat tire or for brakes out of adjustment, or, you know, simple things like that, right? You know that's gonna happen, and you know that that's gonna stop your money, right? You know that you gotta go on home time, so that's gonna stop your money, you know. And you know that you got to pay fuel, even if fuel is going up or fuel is going down or whatever, and all these other things, right? So it goes back to this sense that you wouldn't ask the question if you have experience per se, right? If that makes any sense.
That's correct. I agree.
Now, owner op asking a fleet owner, you know, back to that, you know, how much money can you expect, you know? Well, like I said, if you have experience, right, if you've been doing owner op for quite a while, you know that you have XYZ expenses. You're going to have to pay money into taxes, even though after you fuel and all that other stuff, you gotta, you know, you made X amount gross, $4,000 gross. Is that really all your money? No, it's not. You know, you'd be surprised really what's left at the end, what's really your money after paying, you know, payroll. If you got yourself on a W-2, if, you know, if you are paying, you know, and then your maintenance, you know, and your scheduled maintenance, and when you break down, your towing, your LLC setup fees, your, you know, if you have a lawyer, if you know, there's just a lot of other different stuff, you know, and if the loads are all paying right for you too, you know, and you would understand that at the end, given all that, right, because you know from experience how much money is roughly going to be left after you take all that into consideration and you pay a driver, you're roughly going to know how much money you're going to make. You see what I'm saying? I see these comments here. Eddie Durant. Entitled mentality is part of the issue. As an owner of a small fleet, it's way too hard to offer what they feel they're entitled to. Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, you know, you're the one that's taking all the responsibility. You're the one that's providing a job, you know? And for you know, if they're not happy with it, you know, like, you're providing a job. You know, there's a million other jobs to apply for. You know, if you don't really like it, then I'm not saying, you know, go beat it, but
I think a healthy mix is that a lot of the employees versus the owners or whatever, the companies, they don't really understand what they're worth. So they don't really know what to ask for. So when they get into it,
there you go.
They're just saying that, you know, I think I deserve more because of whatever work has been done, but they don't understand the market conditions, or they haven't done enough research to know what their worth is.
Right. And you got to know what's your worth, you know, whether or not either side of the table, right? If, you know, if you're from a carrier standpoint, right, and you don't know what's your worth out here amongst other carriers and hiring other drivers, if you don't know where's your worth in this marketplace, you can go ahead and say, hey, I'm hiring drivers. I'm paying everybody $1 a mile, you know, and you and everybody else is paying 20 cents or something a mile. How do you know your worth, right? If you never worked for another company, how can you know if your company is gravy and mashed potatoes, right? How can you know that if you don't put yourself in a company in a company driver perspective, right? The same way, right? And then what do you have to offer for an employee? You know, are you giving them old trucks? Are you giving them new trucks? You know, what are you competing? And we crashed. So let's keep going. What we said was, you know, what do you have to offer? You know, besides, you know, with the equipment, the home time, all that, you know, because that's gonna basically giving you, I wouldn't say the bargaining chip, but, you know, you're gonna know, always know your worth. Like SoCal just said, there you go, SoCal in the house. Don't forget, go on to SoCal Trucker Group on Facebook if you on this channel, and we talk about a lot of stuff on there, and go ahead and check us out. All right, but anyways, know your worth, right? Whether you're a company driver or whether you're the boss, you know, because if you know your worth, when somebody comes out to you as a driver and they be like, hey, I want to get paid $1 a mile, you know, because I want to do all this and that, you know what I mean? But if you knew your worth as an employee, I'm like, nah, my man, I can't offer you that because, you know, this is what I have for here, this, and the third. You're not going to be, I'm not putting you in a truck that's going to be breaking down. I'm not going to be putting you, I'm not going to not pay you on time, right? I'm going to not put you in a hotel when the truck breaks down. You know, I'm not going to just leave you in a truck stop sitting around. You know what I mean? If you knew your worth, you wouldn't, you know when or not to agree to something, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? That makes sense, right?
Makes sense.
Let's switch it up, right? Let's talk about an employee standpoint. If you, as a driver, knew your worth, right? And you know you're the type of driver, hey, I'm a grinder, I can do all the miles you give me 700, 800, 900 miles a day, get it done. I'll be there the next day, I'll be offloading. Give me a fuel app. I'll look for the cheapest fuel, this, that, the third. Hey, did I tell you I can work on, you know, I can change headlights, I can adjust brakes, you know, I know what to look for on trucks. Hey, I got XYZ experience, you know. Hey, I only got 1 year experience, but hey, I can change headlights and I can do basic stuff and I do a pre-trip. Boom. You know, you can come out to an employee, right, an employer, and say, I want to get paid this because I know half of these guys out here are knuckleheads and they're going to cost you money, but I'm not going to cost you much, so, you know, really any money because I know what I'm doing, right? And now, let's get it straight. A lot of times you can't really do that when you're working for a mega company, right? Because they just have the cut, copy, and paste pay scale, right? Whether or not you have XYZ values, it's not going to change your pay at the beginning. It's going to change your pay in your day-to-day operations because you're going to be able to catch things faster than the knucklehead that isn't. Does that make sense, right? So we'll leave that there, right? Let's go on to the other comment, right? All right, let's see. All right, we are here. Trucking for show. How do you handle pay when a truck is broken down? Well, it depends, right? Trucking for show. Pay when a truck is broken down sucks, right? Because nobody's making money, right? Essentially, you know, the driver's not, you know, whether he's getting paid on percentage or by the mile, he ain't making no money, you know. And depending on what the issue is during a breakdown, this is when you have to think about, you know, business decisions like, okay, is the truck going to be down for 1, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days a week, a month, right? And you have to decide, what are you going to do with that driver? Because the driver's here to work. And if you can't provide the work, then they're going to go somewhere else for that work, right or wrong. And now we're not talking about 1 or 2 days, you know. You just got to come out to your mind, you know, hey, like, what are you kind of comfortable with losing per day, right? Because you're going to be losing, essentially. You're going to still have to pay the driver to go in a hotel, which could be $50 to $100 a day, depending where he's at, right? Then you got to pay a driver, breakdown pay, whether it be, you know, $50 a day or whatever, you know. So you're losing anywhere from $100 to $150 a day easily, right? And then you have to figure out, well, this doesn't make sense. Tell the driver to go home, and then we'll start over next week, you know, if his home time was coming around. See what I'm saying? You got to think about things like that. Derek, Mr. Nice Guy, what's up, brother? But
and that goes into that, at least further into what you were saying about how much money do you make, because of the fact that you have to put money aside to account for a potential breakdown, whether that driver has to go into the hotel.
There you go.
Whether you have to pay for breakdown pay.
Yep.
So all that money that comes in isn't necessarily yours.
Isn't yours
to use as the driver. It's for the business, to keep the business afloat for when a major breakdown occurs, so you can pay for that breakdown pay.
Yep. There you go. Exactly. Because exactly like my team driver said it, all right? Mr. Unknown, all right? Exactly how he said it. You know, you got to know these things, right? And you got to understand that, yeah, you can see this big picture of money right here that's left at the end of the day, but is that really all yours, you know? Because you have XYZ expenses and you have XYZ unknown expenses, right? You got to be able to cover those unknowns at the same time covering the recurring expenses that you do know, right? All right. Breakdown, Lafayette. You know what happened to me? I'm still hurting. Hey, my owner op, right? Popping tires is going out of style, all right? And I feel bad for this man. Like, this week has been hell for him, but he still was able to make some money out here and all that. All right, we got Nawaf. I'm gonna butcher your name. Nawaf Ashilian Ashin. Hey, Hamlet. Maybe off topic. My authority just got approved. My question is, how hard was it to book with a new MC? What brokers are usually the ones that broke? Hey, I made a video on that. If you look at like the first week of authority, go ahead and check that out. There's quite a few brokers that will still deal with you as a new authority out here. Just make sure that, you know, you're not going and delivering loads late. Reputation is very big on your first year having your authority, because a lot of brokers are going to be looking into that and seeing if they even want to put their load on your truck. All right, so check that out. What's realistic gross to the truck when running teams? Just wondering if hiring teams is worth the headache and pressure. I would just say, Trucking for Show, if you can, right? And one of the best things about being a fleet owner is being a driver, because you can put yourself in a position to try different things out instead of having your employees try them out and them being the guinea pigs per se. You know, it doesn't always work out that way, but you know, you can easily find a driver to team with, right? And you can see what numbers you're going to be pulling in, and if it's going to make sense. The market changes every day, every week, every month, and you definitely need to know your stuff, especially when running teams, to always keep that truck moving, because now you're paying for 2 people, right? So let's see. Albert Lanning, most of these drivers have mentality that they are giving you a favor. Exactly. This is true. Kristen Wright, do you coach your company drivers how to book their freight, educating them on how to bid, price themselves? Not sure if you give them free reign to book or not. Christopher Wright, my company drivers are getting dispatched. All right. I don't give them the free reign, you know, because most of the guys that I'm hiring are guys that, you know, either looking to get their own truck and all that, you know, or just only been driving for 1 or 2 years, so they don't really have that experience in what is the right load to choose, if that makes any sense. There's some companies out there that do offer like book your own load and be a company driver.
Really?
I think so. I think so. But you're kind of, from my understanding, you're looking off a load board that's by them.
Right.
So in a way, you're already choosing their own freight, right? Because you're not gonna give them, hey, do 600 miles.
They got dedicated customers.
Right. Exactly. Not dedicated. I wouldn't say that. They're selecting those certain loads so that they're moving these bad loads away, so you don't even dare think of choosing it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So you gotta, if Christopher, if you're thinking about doing something like that, you just have to have a really deep understanding with your driver, and you know whether, and it just goes back to by the mileage or by the percentage in choosing something like that, where the company, where the driver is selecting loads, right? Because if a guy is selecting loads and he's getting paid by the mile, man, he's gonna choose the ones that are 1,000 miles, right? Every single time he's gonna choose that, whether or not it could be paying $1,000, 1,000 miles for $1,000. He's gonna choose 1,000 thing, because it don't have anything to do with him choosing.
It doesn't have anything to do with.
He get paid at the end of the day, right?
It depends on him.
It depends on him, right?
Right.
But I do coach my company drivers that are looking to become owner ops, and kind of have a little mentorship deal, and explain to them all the costs and rates and all that good stuff, which is what I'm doing now. All right. And Andrew John, hello, that's what's up, Hamlet. Leverage your knowledge and skills. Absolutely. Knowledge is power equals money. There you go. Andrew Young, if you chase money, money will slip through your fingers. If you seek knowledge, money will stay in your hand. Let your work habit determine your worth. Prove to me your worth, what you say you're worth, and I'll give you 90 days to show me. See Malone. There you go. And that's a very good thing that I do myself. That you need to show me what your worth is in this first month, and then in 90 days, because I need to see you say that you're Superman. I want to make sure you're Superman and not Spider-Man, right? Pre-maintenance keeps you out the shop more. There you go. SoCal, appreciate it. What's the realistic miles with teams? Realistic miles, just depending on the commodity. Trucking for show, either flatbed or dry van, reefer. Let me know which one you're thinking about. Learning SoCal, staying humble, being a student of others, and working financial goals to become an owner op again. Andrew Young, there you go. Chase small, chase money. There you go. SoCal. All right. But essentially, this video was just quickly talking about you wouldn't ask certain questions. I got to remember what the hell I wanted to say. How did
you wouldn't ask certain questions. Something about you're not ready. If you have to ask a certain question.
If you have to ask the question, you are not ready. There you go. But that's what it was, right? But it's not to say any stupid question, any stupid question is a stupid question. It's not to say that, right? Everybody needs knowledge, right? And what I'm getting at is you can focus your question in a different way, right? That can help you, right? Because knowing how much money you can make, does that really help you, right? Without knowing how much the shit costs to run?
Right.
No, right? Because I could tell you you can make $3,000, but I could forget to tell you that it costs $3,000 to operate this, right?
Right.
So that's what I mean. You know, focus your questions on different aspects of the game, right? So that you can understand the full picture, right? If you're a company driver, you got to be asking the owner op, when is the slow season? When is the high season? When should I be getting a truck, putting myself in a truck, and when I shouldn't be getting myself into a truck?
How much a year do you spend in breakdowns?
How much year do you spend on breakdowns, right? What year truck do you have, you know? Or how often do you go home? Do you make more money when you go home, or do you make more money when you stay on the road? Questions like this. It's the questions you should be asking, and not the questions about how much money it is, right? That should make some sense, right? Trucking for show, dry van. Oh, dry van, man, you can do easily 5,500 miles upwards plus, you know, because you're getting loaded and you're not having to strap or anything like that, and you can go ahead and put the miles in. You know, I would say realistically 5,500 to 6,000 miles you can easily do. Now you got to try to make it profitable for yourself. You know, running from parts of the country, you got to make sure that, you know, you're doing good by the fuel mileage and all that, because you're gonna be burning a lot more fuel than a solo truck is, you know. And you got to look at, you know, those different aspects. Let's see what other questions we have. Henny Bautista, yo, what's good, Henny? But anyways, there's 33 people in here. We're gonna request one more master like, master subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let us know what you think of this this video, and we'll get back into another video maybe tomorrow, maybe the following day. All right. And my driver here, he's gonna have a bunch of questions because I already see him write a bunch of shit down. All right. So anyways, folks, just like if we got any other questions, we'll wait for them real quick. I'm getting thirsty. Henny Bautista, yes, you're late, bro. Of course you're fucking late. You're always late, bro. Getting calls from brokers. Yo, Henny Bautista, this guy, he's late on his delivery, man. He's late on his pickup. Golly. SoCal, great live feed, Hamlet. Henny Bautista lies. Hey, if you're an owner op looking for a company to pull for or to drive with, whatever you want to say, go ahead and hit me up on Facebook, or with the same name, Hamlet Dubois, or hit me up on recruiting at cybertronenterprises.com, and we could talk some numbers or whatnot, and we can get you signed on. Anyways, since there's no questions, the answer is simple. At the end of the day, get busy living or you get busy dying. Check you out later. It's Hamlet Dubois.